So there was this hackathon and people were obviously creating like AI, bunch of different stuff. But one of the ones that kind of went viral on LinkedIn, I mean, this post here from Krish Garg, who actually won the hackathon by XAI. And it's a video that is, he basically integrated AI into like TV shows, movies, so that it's dynamic ad placements. So basically,
Whoa.
it's fucking scary.
Scary, but also so good, just from a marketer standpoint.
Hey, it's Dave Gerhardt. I spent my career in marketing going from PR intern to CMO, and now I spend my time running Exit 5, which is, in my opinion, at least the world's best community for B2B marketers. If you need a place to connect with your peers, get feedback on your work, or just make new friends in marketing, you should go and check us out. It's exit5.com. You can learn more.
All right, marketers, grab your overpriced standing desk and that oat milk latte you love so much, because welcome to Notorious B2B, the only show where we treat LinkedIn drama like breaking news and expose the real B2B marketing sins.
Yeah, think of us like SNL meets TMZ, but for the people who argue about whether gated content is still a thing or not. I'm Task Bober, B2B landing page nerd and lovable troll on LinkedIn.
And I'm Tim Davidson, the guy making TikTok-style videos and cutting fruit on LinkedIn. Together, we're cutting out nonsense and roasting the most ridiculous trends in B2B marketing.
Because if we have to suffer through another 10 things getting engaged taught me about B2B sales, we're taking you all down with us.
Let's get into it.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Vector. You know them, the ones with the cute little ghosties in the feed, aka your favorite marketing team's favorite ad targeting tool. See why at vector.co.
And we're in.
And we're in. Welcome.
Welcome. You got your sweatsuit on, huh?
I actually do have a matching outfit, but I'm not wearing the matching, but I'm wearing camo.
Oh, can't even see that. Don't even know what you're talking about. I got
Camo
a nice little
sweats.
Christmas.
Yes.
Little Christmas vibe going.
And a Christmas Starbucks. Very cold, by the way.
Your cleaners bring that in? Bougie.
No, but my husband did bring it home for me this morning.
Fair
However,
enough.
it's 2 p.m. right now. You are making me work on a Friday, so I'm already cranky.
This is true. I think it's a good thing because the first thing we're going to do is clean up some data.
Great. Can't wait. Okay, so welcome to
Notorious B2B.
Yeah, baby. We're going to become a conglomerate.
We're going to become something, tell you that much.
We're going to become something. Okay, so this week we're doing our third circle back on my demographic change. You know what's funny is this is probably how most companies and marketing teams are reporting internally. It's just like, we're just making it up as we go every month, and the story changes just slightly because we find a flaw in the data.
This is why there's QBR decks B8 and 10
B8.
and 13.
Yes. And why you need a peer to check your work, especially when
100%.
you're bad at math, apparently. Okay, so last week, I very confidently said that the demographic change did impact my impression count. Tim was right to be suspicious.
Well, really?
Oh,
Really?
he just chucked his glasses. I hope that's
Backups.
And he got a backup pair of glasses. That's freaking hilarious.
Prepared.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, if you're not watching, you should totally come back, watch this part on YouTube where he fucking chucks his glasses and magically brings a new one out. Okay, so one thing I realized very quickly is I exported the LinkedIn. For anyone who is listening for the first time, this is basically what we've been trying to do the last 3 episodes. We found out that there's a gender swap trend going on LinkedIn where a bunch of women are changing their demographics to a straight white male, which we don't even know why LinkedIn's asking for that information. And then they're reporting that they are getting a ton more impressions because of that demographic change. So I did what any good Samaritan would do, which is change my own profile just to validate whether this is true or not. So I did it. Tim already warned me, you're doing this test at the wrong time. We're coming up on the holidays. This is not going to go well for you. I was like, I'm going to do it anyway. So I did it anyway. And I came back, and last week we did an update on that. And essentially, I very confidently said that it did impact my impressions in a positive way, something between like 4 times to 18 times increase in impressions. And the funny thing is, I was mostly trolling. I wasn't even putting out very good content. So there are a lot of variables at play here. And then he was very suspicious of my numbers, rightly so. And after we recorded the episode, I looked at what we capture. My assistant, Rhoda, shout out Rhoda, she goes through all my posts and she captures what the post data is. And then when I opened up what LinkedIn exports, the impressions were wildly different. Like, for example, my post that did get 85,000 impressions, LinkedIn's only reporting 33,000. So there's this huge discrepancy already. And with further analysis right before this call, we found out a couple of things. One, I report on post metrics, but LinkedIn reports on daily metrics. So it could be an accumulation. If I've posted 3 times, it's taking all of those together. Second, the time frame that LinkedIn considers what your daily time is, they are in a different time zone, right, Tim?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's GMT. So like I learned this from like LinkedIn ads. Basically, the day ends at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. So obviously we post like 8 a.m. Eastern is when I post. Takes a little bit, whatever. So my day ends later than their day. So they do a cutoff and it kind of carries on the next day. ChatGPT suspects that some of the impression data, so I'm just saying ChatGPT because, you know, the big asterisks there, suspects that some of the impression data also includes things like older impressions and profile views, things like that. Obviously, when I capture post metrics, it's a snapshot in time. So it's not always apples to apples. All of that said, the new analysis is... The new analysis says... Okay, what is true? I had one...
No, just give me the analysis. As a white, what happened? What happened as a white male?
That is what ChatGPT says. The TLDR, yeah, I was literally reading what it said, but the TLDR is that it did not impact my demographics. Okay.
It actually made it worse.
It made it worse. So it sucks to be a white male. No, I'm kidding.
Shit.
I mean, we don't know that for a fact because there are a lot of other factors like, am I doing my standard posts, algorithmic shifts, seasonal shifts because we're in the holiday time. And I think that we're going to continue to test this more into Jan, Feb, March of the new year. I'm going to go straight up like 3 months. Okay. But
no,
you
should, because you're still in different time frames. You know how it happens in January with gyms and like new year, new me, more people want to post on LinkedIn. So it's going to skew that. January, more people are on LinkedIn because it's like it's Q1. You gotta, it's trying to hustle. Like there's more people on there. It's going to skew things. Here's what I would do.
Okay.
Here's what I would do.
Let's hear.
We need a 5-year time frame for this. We're going to do times of the year. So let's just say, for example, the next one you do this for is going to be Jan 1 to, let's just say, February 28th. So good 2-month span.
Okay.
Get the data from that. In a year from there, we'll test it again. So 2027, Jan 1 to February 28th. I know you're thinking, but it's a year past. I'm going to have more followers. More people are going to understand who I am. Correct. We're going to look at your follower count increase, and we're going to use that as a percentage to decrease the amount of impressions from the 2026. And then that will be a calculation that we use to understand the differences. And then we're going to do this for 5 years so you can get a year over year.
But then me being an Asian female, which is what I had my demographics set as before.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we don't have the comparison data.
Well, 2027 is when you're going to be the Asian female.
Oh, so do it every other year?
So we'll have to do it for 6 years. Sorry. So we need to do it for 6 years.
Okay. I need a roadmap for this.
And well, no, the reason I'm saying that is because the time frame is going to be similar.
Okay.
Again, we're going to account for the follower increases and all that, and the algorithm changes. But the other thing we're going to do is you're going to post very similar content. So you're going to map out those 2 months that you posted the year before. Obviously, we'll change things around if it's a landing page thing about like ChatGPT, but ChatGPT dies in 2030. We're not going to talk about ChatGPT. Obviously, we'll talk about something else. But
okay,
it's a 6 year. We got to commit 6 years. We're going to commit to this, but we'll get good data.
Okay.
Just saying. That's how you do it.
Okay.
Or the other thing you could do is say fudge it and just make the narrative how you want to make the narrative.
Like how we do all marketing reporting.
Yes, that's what you do, right? So as of right now, as a white male, you've lost.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. But what you could do is take those findings, post about them on LinkedIn, get a bunch of impressions, because it will be a great rage bait,
Post.
unrage bait post. It'll give you a bunch of impressions, but you'll still be a white male. And then you can then say after that, that actually this is right. I did this right. And as a white male, I got more impressions, which you'll post about again but you'll switch back to the Asian female. And so now you have two ways you can go, because you're just going to get huge amount of posts from each of them.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay. I will think about this. The 6-year commitment, or do I just want to fudge the narrative? This is probably what founders are presented with all the time. And then some of the stories we covered, they're like, yeah, let's just project that we're going to be a freaking unicorn and have everyone invest, but it's just 700 real people working on something instead of my AI tool, quote unquote. Right?
The difference here is that founders are crazy enough to do this.
I mean,
are
we not crazy enough to do it? No,
too
change
lazy.
the narrative. I don't think.
I think we're too lazy to do 6 years.
That's what most founders would do. Then they would just rather change the narrative. So we are crazy now.
Well, that's what everyone does anyway. So
final conclusion from the third fucking circle back of this thing. It said I just had one genuinely viral post on 11/26, but that fudges up a lot of my, my averages. But what is not supported by the data: a consistent increase in typical post reach, a higher median of floor performance, a clean algorithmic boost tied to demographic change. So the most defensible conclusion is the apparent post, or the apparent post 11/20 is when I changed my demographics, is entirely explained by one single viral post, not a systemic demographic advantage. If it were a demographic advantage, we would see things like higher medians, higher lows, immediate uplift starting the very next day, and then reduced reliance on outliers. And we're seeing the opposite. So I got served nicely with that one.
That sounds like a long way to say create better content.
That too. And don't do tests at the end of the year when people are jolly, but not jolly enough to even support your narrative that you're trying to do here.
Yeah. So long story short, we didn't learn much. So
we didn't.
That's good. That's really good.
So moving forward, am I keeping my demographics the same? And we'll try it for first quarter when there's not seasonality in terms of at least the holiday period? Because what ChatGPT is saying is that I need to run it like this. If you want to keep testing this, this is what you're going to do. One, you're going to ignore LinkedIn's exporting impressions, like what they're reporting as, their impressions, the actual when you hit export. We're going to use only post level impressions like I do individually, snapshot in time. Then you're going to compare the median, the 25th percentile, percentage of posts clearing a threshold, example 5K, 10K, whatever. Run the test over another 30 to 45 posts, and then watch for a baseline shift, not just another spike. So that's kind of what it's suggesting that I do. So I think that I can run this for another 30 to 45 posts, and then we do a circle back.
Okay, chat.
All right,
issue
chat.
though is if you see the data, we also do not know if it's the male versus female or if it's the Asian versus white. So now you have to do this for another 45 days on some different ones. So just saying.
White woman versus woman of color.
Asian man.
Asian man. Oh, geez, this is too much. We'll just have, if there are people listening who are male but not white, submit your information to me, your post impressions. If you're a white male, submit.
Oh, geez.
If you're a Caucasian woman, submit. And then I will submit my data, obviously, that I've had. Perfect.
But only if you have the same amount of followers and do landing pages as Taz, because it skews the data. Like, it completely changes.
Dang it. Okay.
All right.
P.S. We can't do this.
Nothing.
We got nothing.
Oh, the one learning is if you're going to look at LinkedIn data, there's no good way to look at it.
Pretty much. There's too many variables. And testing 101, you only change a single variable, which I already failed because I changed multiple variables even when changing my demographics. I went from Asian female to white male. So,
true.
We all fudged it up.
That's right. All right,
Okay.
moving on.
Big prompt energy.
All right, we got a good one because you know what happened recently? A little hackathon. Hackathon went down by XAI, and this one, honestly, this one's kind of scary. So there was this hackathon, and people were obviously creating like AI, bunch of different stuff. But one of the ones that kind of went viral on LinkedIn, I mean, this post here from Krish Garg, who actually won the hackathon by XAI, has like 4,800 likes, 382 comments, 83 reposts. But it's basically it's a video that is he basically integrated AI into like TV shows, movies, so that it's dynamic ad placements. So basically, yeah. So like if you're watching the video, one of the ones they show is the show Suits.
Yes.
And basically, Harvey, who's one of the lawyers, he's walking up to like a limo, and in the show, he walks up and grabs a coffee. I don't think there's even a label on it, but with this ad placement AI thing, he's able to change it to a Coca-Cola can. Like what? You'll see here.
Wow.
There's a Coca-Cola can that's actually able to display this. And then actually in the video, like if someone's watching on Netflix, and you can see there's a coffee there, which looks like a McDonald's coffee. But then you can actually click on the learn more and it goes right to the Coca-Cola page.
Wow. And then within Friends, they have a second clip.
Yep.
And within a Friends episode, so he's like, you're in Netflix, you're just kind of browsing, you're going show to show. Joey picks up headphones and it's Beats headphones. Yes. Oh.
It's Beat headphones. Obviously, the show's way back then. You know what, 70s or whatever? No, not 70s, like 90s. 90s.
2000s, yeah.
Yeah. But it has Joey with Beats headphones. The show just keeps going on. Like it's AI, just dynamic AI placements in any show, any time frame. It's fucking scary.
Scary, but also so good. Just from a marketer standpoint, I love this because he's right. Like no one wants to sit there and really watch an ad or listen to an ad. But you can do these dynamic product placements that kind of fit in with the show.
Yeah.
But also, say your sponsorship with Coca-Cola ends, you can go back and change it to Pepsi or whoever the hell very easily.
But here's what gets even crazier, because I don't think it's talking about this, but in theory, because you could do this for other things, like if someone's watching CTV, they're watching Hulu in their home, and you know they buy a lot of Pepsi. It's a Pepsi can.
Ooh.
You know they buy a lot of Mountain Dew because everyone, it's all connected. Like my cube is an Amazon cube. It knows what I buy, right? And then it's going to show into Hulu, and it's got Netflix, all that stuff on it. It knows what I buy. I get the little notifications. Your Amazon thing is here. It knows that. Like it'd probably show up with like something like kombucha or something silly, or like actually probably show up with like a baby bottle, because we buy a lot of stuff on Amazon for babies. For the baby.
Wow. I mean, as a marketer, that makes me very excited.
Because marketers are the worst.
Because marketers are the worst. And also for a show, like that would be great. We're just talking.
Yeah.
Episode 1. We're not even thinking about sponsors. And then suddenly we're just holding we're holding Vector's. Vector has the best swag, by the way. They didn't even ask me to plug this, but I'm saying something and then I have the Vector Lego set.
Yeah.
And I have the Vector Cards Against Humanity. Marketers Against Humanity. Oh, this is the best. So
or like in my background, there's like an Einstein poster, but that turns into a face of Jess. Jess Cook from Vector. I don't know. Maybe.
Yes. Oh my God. Can we do that anyway? Change that.
I don't know how to do that.
She would know how to do that.
I'm messing it up now.
Just put Jess's.
100% messing it up now.
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah, that's crazy. And someone just kind of put it together.
Wait, so you said it was scary. Why do you think it's scary?
Because where does it end?
It doesn't. Why is it scary? I need legitimate examples of it being scary because I'm not seeing past the marketer lens right now.
Because if they're able to do that for any show, anything like that, and that's just placements, right? Like you that's just the Coca-Cola instead of the coffee, whatever it is. But like that means you could do that for faces. That means you could do that for anything on the body, anything, literally anything.
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate this time.
Right.
Okay.
Wow, weird.
Yes, you could potentially do it with that. Before AI came along, there was a lot of technology that you could use for shitty stuff, and people have been using it for shitty stuff forever, right? And that's why regulations and things come in place. When we were able to start tracking everybody's behavior and their browsing actions online, you literally could follow them around. Do we have the technology available? Yes. But then something like GDPR came in with consent management, and now you need to gather consent in order to do that, or you can't go down to a PII level. So I feel like there will be limits that will be set. Will everyone follow it? No. This one is something that's more apparent if you were to not follow it. It's like when the Taylor Swift deep fakes came out with her and like some porn video, some person made it. I mean, people are going to use it terribly, but when it comes to a commercial purpose like that, they will put limits on, like they're going to change Harvey's face to somebody else's face, unless there was all the mutual agreements and stuff like that in place. A good example that came to my head just now is Witcher. I've been watching Witcher on Netflix, and the first 2 seasons were Henry Cavill. I miss him. But then he didn't like where they were going and taking the direction of the show because he's a big fan of the books. So he said he's not renewing for season 3 or whatever. And then they switched it with, what's the Hemsworth? Liam Hemsworth? Not Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth. Yeah. Anyway, but then they could take his face and replace all of the previous Witchers with that. But then it could be like a commercial agreement in order to do so. You know what I mean? So I think hopefully, we put regulations and limits in place as to where we can use this. But this is also another reason why it's so important for the things that aren't regulated, like your socials, to not utilize your children's faces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Great. More cookie consent. More cookie consents. Really cool. Really, really cool. Now I have to click a freaking cookie consent for every show I watch. Awesome.
Every show you watch.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Just flagging.
All right, moving on. Got a little just flag in here. Something I found was very interesting because actually Polymarket trading is actually kind of recent as well, which is like you can basically bet on anything these days. It's so you can bet on like presidential debates. You could bet on like when, in this example, when Gemini is going to be released, the new one. You can bet on pretty much anything. It's really crazy.
So wait. So is Polymarket like a thing?
Yeah, it's like there's like you probably get the you probably not get the ads all the time, but there's like this
I don't get the
called
ads.
Kalshi or something like that. There's a bunch of them where you can just basically bet on anything. It's like an app. And it's like the Polymarket is called the world's largest prediction market. And you can basically bet anything. Will Trump release the Epstein files? Yeah, so you're on it. Like there's Elon Musk's number of tweets from December 5th to December 12th. You can bet money on these things.
Wow.
Like there obviously, tons of games and football games and soccer games and like anything and everything. How many gold cards will Trump himself sell in 2025? And like you can bet on that. It's really crazy.
This is insane. And so you put money in it, and then if you win, the earnings are split between the winners, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yep. So basically you bet $1, and whatever the odds are, if you were right, you get $1 back. You get $2. $1 back.
Wow. Oh, you get your money back plus whatever? Okay.
Yes. Now, obviously, it's gambling to an extent. Like, it is gambling.
To an extent?
No,
it is only gambling.
Yeah, it's gambling.
Straight up gambling.
And there's obviously money to be made here. So as per usual, there will be people, trying to game the system. Not saying we don't know that this person. So basically, there's an alleged person gaming the system because they're allegedly an insider. But basically, someone known as Alpha Raccoon has been doing a bunch of bets, and they were actually they were right on 22 of 23 of them. I first heard about this because the person bet a pretty sizable amount on when the Gemini release was going to come out. And obviously they were right, pretty good amount of money. But then they started betting other things around Google stuff. So like the most recent ones were who are the personalities that were ranked highest in Google's annual search trends. And Alpha Raccoon placed these huge positions on figures like Pope Leo or Kendrick Lamar, a couple other ones. Also betting against people that weren't going to be in the top 5 that you'd think would be, like Trump or Elon. And he or she, Alpha Raccoon, has been right 22 out of 23 times. Again, it's mostly around Google stuff. So this begs the question, does this person work for Google? Do they have some insider knowledge? And no one knows, obviously, because it's all kind of anonymous. Like the Alpha Raccoon's not a real name.
Right.
But there's also not a lot of laws around this because it's Polymarkets.
Right. It's just on their platform.
But this does beg the question, because you could bet on anything. Obviously, I can't bet on is B2B Riz's new website coming out next year. But stuff like this, if you work at a company, in theory, you could bet on these new product features and new product things coming out. If you work at one of these bigger companies and make a ton of money on it, which really makes things a lot crazy, because then for this example, if OpenAI is noticing that this better is always right on Gemini releases, they could start releasing their stuff right before they're betting. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, I'm trying to think of how they could validate and say, okay, if you have a conflict of interest, you can't bet on this. But it's like a bunch of Redditors betting on this because they all have usernames. Yeah. And what does Polymarket care? Because they're getting money. So I'm like, okay, yeah. I mean, it is, that person does have an unfair advantage. So then does it become a situation where you de-anonymize everyone? Well, people likely won't be part of this because they're not going to want to bet, even on stuff that has nothing to do with them, but it might expose them politically or, something like that. So I don't know how to solve for that, but it is interesting, your take on if ChatGPT kind of noticed this and just basically followed this little user around,
right,
and then try to do it right before. That would be an interesting play. I mean, I don't know. How would you solve for something like that, like a conflict of interest? I don't know if you can.
If you're Google and you do some digging and you find out who this person is, then you fire them because they don't want OpenAI.
Right.
But 22 out of 23, that's 96%.
How would you even go about an investigation like that? It's such a big company. Like Google has how many employees? And then you'd have to narrow it down to, it's someone who has something to do with the product team. But if they have an all hands and everybody at the company is kind of warned about it, the only way you could do it is pull some rippling shit and give a fake date.
Well, right. 100%.
Right?
Exactly. This is, if there's leaks in a company, you give people fake information.
Data.
Yeah.
Every
you
group.
see what happens.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when someone's making this kind of money, they don't just stop.
No.
They keep going because they're greedy. It's exactly how it is always.
Yeah.
And so, but the more times you do something like this, you will slip up. You will use your work computer by accident, or you'll forget to log out, or whatever that is, or you'll tell someone that you're making all this money, or you're going to start showing up in the Bugatti when you've been showing up in the Chrysler 20.
The Bugatti.
You know what I'm talking about. Showing up in the Rolls Royce, but you've been driving the Honda Civic from 2007. Something will get leaked, or something will be told. But that's just where, I don't know. I just think that's, I'm just trying to think if I know anything. But I don't. I don't know anything about anything to bet.
I think it's smart. Is it morally correct? No.
No.
Is it smart? Yes. And this always goes full circle back to what we always say. You can use your brains, your skill sets, all of these things for good or evil. And that's what this person chose to do,
Well, here's the thing. And I say this because I've never been in this situation, but Alpha Raccoon, again, it's all allegations. If they were working at Google, just made $1 million in really short period of time, be done. You will not get caught if you're done. Just be done. Use that $1 million, whatever that is, to do whatever you want with it. Put it in the stock, whatever. I don't care. Be done. But they won't be. That's the truth. They just won't. But you should be.
Yep.
If you're listening, be done. Get out of it.
Be done. Get out of it now. Some of these, though, I wonder how many of these people are insiders, though, because there's so much money on the line with some of these. 13 mil, 24 mil, 5 mil, 9 mil. And I wonder if you could also follow the bets. So a person working inside at Google is I'm pretty 99% sure that this is when the release is happening. I'm going to bet $100,000. Follow the money. You know what I mean?
Follow the money, yeah.
Follow the money. But some of this is insane. Should I bet? I'm only willing to part with $20. So,
Hey there, Jess Cook, head of marketing at Vector here.
And anyone who listens to Tass and Tim on Notorious B2B is a friend of mine. So I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Native targeting is filling your funnel with ghosts. Wouldn't you rather put your ad dollars toward, I don't know, people on your website, clicking your ads, researching your competitors? I know I would. Vector lets you build ad audiences from those exact people. Unlike native targeting, which gatekeeps that shit, only letting you pick like some titles and industries and then just trusting them to show your ads to the right people. Boo. Okay, rant over, go to vector.co and get your ad audiences right.
Hey, you outside shoveling snow right now? Yeah, you don't have to be. I'm Sahil, CEO of Spiralize. We capture winning A/B tests from 78,000 websites so we know what makes a high converting site. This February, I'm joining Anthony Pieri, Jess Cook, Rob Kaminsky, Taz Bober, and Alina Vandenberg for Above the Fold, a 2-day workshop style event in Fort Lauderdale for B2B marketers who want to actually improve their websites. No theory, no fluff, just tactical help on positioning, content, and landing pages. Skip the cold, build something hot. Join us in Florida. Get the details at spiralize.com/above the fold.
Yeah, I would not be betting, not doing that. I'm terrible. I don't do it. I don't, even if I go to a casino, don't do it because I just know I'm addicted.
You are?
I would be.
Not something. No, this is not something I care about. I'm competitive, but this is just gambling has never been a problem for me. I'm too cheap.
No, me either.
for
I just
that.
don't even do it. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't like the feeling though. Even if I spend $70 and lose it, like $70, yeah, fine, whatever. But like, I don't like that feeling. I could just put that in stock. 4%. Let me get some 4% gains.
There you go. 4% guarantee over
Not guaranteed.
60% maybe, and you'll lose everything.
Not
You know?
guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, whatever. There's a good chance you'll make something. Okay, moving on. We have some pricing chaos going on right now in SaaS. Obviously, we are coming to the end of year. A lot of companies are sending out the emails like, hey, we're going to increase prices next year. Netflix sent their email out, as they do multiple times a year, but they're taking this opportunity to do that. A lot of people railing on them. B2B SaaS, no different. So it's funny because you and I send each other posts that we see on LinkedIn. You sent me a post about Kit tripling their prices. And literally like 5 minutes before that, I'm making lunch in the kitchen. And my husband's on the phone talking to a coworker because they are evaluating a few tools. And he says, oh, yeah, and I'm seeing this all over Reddit. Fivetran is just going nuts, increasing their prices, and people are not happy. And I started laughing because I was just like, it's so funny, my sources of information. So I looked into Fivetran and what their prices are. And then I sent you a bunch of posts about people talking about it on LinkedIn. I asked my husband to send me the post that he's seeing because his feed looks very different from ours, right? Like he's in data analytics and business intelligence. So he's seeing a lot more about that side of things, which is like Databricks, Snowflake, pricing, Fivetran, those tools that aren't really on our radar. So it was just funny that it was all happening at the same time. But with Kit, not only are they increasing prices, usually what's a standard price increase? Maybe a few percentage points, maybe?
I think it's like...
What's an aggressive increase? 10%, 20%?
Yeah, 10% sounds like a thing. Like that
Yeah.
sounds like a reasonable, not reasonable, I don't like it, but it sounds like a thing.
Yeah, it sounds like something that Tim and I made up and
Yeah.
it sounds reasonable.
It doesn't sound terrible, but it doesn't sound...
Yeah, we have no data to back up this benchmark, just FYI, if anyone wants to quote us. However, tripling your prices, oof, what? That takes some mammoth-sized balls, I feel like, to triple prices.
Before we get into it, I was just kind of looking up some things on Google on like, what other price increases have we seen? And so 3X is obviously 300%, right?
Yes.
I was just looking up. So like Adobe, they increased their prices in 2025 by 50%. Snowflake, Datadog, MongoDB, 25%. Slack Business increased by 20%. Adobe Creative Cloud Pro, 16%. Zendesk, 15%. It keeps going down. The lowest one here is at some company called G7, which is at like 2.7%. 300%. Crazy.
It's crazy. I feel like it's worth reading a little bit of this post that Josh Braun put on here, and then some of the comments are super interesting. So Josh Braun is the one that kind of whistle blew it, I guess. But he said, I pay $14.90 for Kit. So Kit is a platform to do newsletters. So some of the competitors like Beehiiv, Substack, etc. The articles I wrote, and Kit throws up a paywall. So he tried to export his newsletters for the articles that he wrote, and Kit threw up a paywall. And it said, upgrade to Pro to export, and it's $24.90 a year. Translation, if you want access to your own work, that'll be an extra $1,000 a year. Now, something to note here reminds me of our last thing, which is, remember when CapCut released their new terms of service and basically said, anything you create on our platform is ours, essentially, right? This is giving the same energy. So there's something gross about that. It's just gross. It's not just inconvenient, yada, yada. So he goes on and he's like, if my content needs an escape hatch, something's wrong, I'm out. Has a platform ever tried to charge you for your own work? And then he got 500 plus reactions, bunch of reposts, and like 200 plus comments. Now, the first comment or most relevant comment on here that got almost 200 reactions, it's $199. I'll give it the 200 reactions.
Nice. A little help out there.
Yeah, I'm in the holiday generosity mood.
Very nice.
So Tyler Denk, co-founder and CEO of Beehiiv, which is a competitor, said, I'd like to think we put our money where our mouth is as the most creator-friendly platform. 0% fees on subscriptions, flat rate, predictable pricing, yada, yada, yada. Coincidentally, we're running a 20% off promotion right now after our winter release. Perfect. This is a great opportunity for him to upsell. 200 reactions on it. He probably has thousands of impressions on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is a straight up great way to capitalize on this. And he probably got a ton of business from that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So obviously there are a few people coming in to sell him on their platforms as well. Kit did respond. So Preston Lehman, I understand your frustration. I've passed this on to the product team at Kit. Obviously, I'd love if you chose to stay with Kit, but regardless, I want to be helpful. Connect with me over DMs and I'll get you the data that you need. So at least they responded and were like, okay, we'll get you your stuff. Sorry that this is crazy. And then Josh says, well, it seems like you charge $1,000 more per year to export newsletters. Is that correct? And he goes, no, you can export your newsletters through our API, even on your current plan. That export button exports a broadcast table and all its data, the email stats, etc., not just the content. I'll help you get your broadcast content and all the stats. I've also passed your feedback to the product team. We never intended to gate access to the content you made. I'm sorry the experience was confusing and frustrating. And then he goes, no, you can't. Didn't work. Can't get my content unless I upgrade. And then someone responded, I smell bullshit. The paywall is there. End of story. This is from someone else. And he goes, when you click export, you need to pay what's VIG? Anyway, you need to pay. VIG. And then he goes, like I mentioned my DMs to you yesterday, I worked on getting your content export today. I had to write the API calls to make it happen. So he's basically saying, yes, we'll get it for you. It shouldn't be like that, but it is like that. And then he had to do some custom shit in the background anyway to give him access to his stuff. And then he sends him a bunch of documentations. And then the guy said, fine, thanks. I was able to download my emails. Appreciate your help. So I'm glad that they responded. This one person said, came to see if Kit would respond. The silence is deafening. However, they did respond. Looks like they handled it, which is great.
Depends on the timing.
Someone goes through it. But let's just say one thing, one line. The damage is done.
Yeah.
Right?
Good. Yeah.
I had to scroll a bunch before I found Kit's response. All people are going to see if they're scrolling their feed is likely Josh, his post, Tyler, co-founder of Beehiiv, maybe some other comments, and then maybe somewhere down here, this guy who supposedly works there, but his tagline says nothing about him working at Kit. So it's very easy. People would have passed by that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Now, Fivetran, same shit's going on there too. So if we look at Fivetran, there were a few people who posted about this. Now, I did tell my husband this thing because he sent me all these links. And every one of these people with the posts and the links he sent me were all competitors of Fivetran. So Fivetran releases their latest pricing. This guy goes in, oh, if you're frantically trying to figure out what Fivetran's latest pricing changes mean for your business, talk to us. We're X business, right? And he uses it to sell the integrations, whatever. Then we go into Paul Dudley's post also a competitor. I told my husband, I'm like, did you really read all of these and fall for this sales pitch stuff?
Probably.
Because yet another Fivetran price change. Doesn't feel that long ago I was writing about the addition of connection fees to pricing. Here we are again, sells his stuff. But it's funny because they're all using the emails and making these graphics like about the email. And it's saying, we're reaching out with 2 updates, all including deletes. So if you were trying to delete any data out of Fivetran, which is a data platform, by the way, you will be charged also for deleting stuff, which is kind of insane, in my opinion. And then finally, here's Andy, whatever his name is. And same thing here, posts the email, deleting events. So it sounds like not only is the price change like a stab, it's then we're going to charge you for just deleting data, salt on the wound.
That one's crazy to me.
It is, right?
Deleting the data, like, how does that? I don't understand that.
So it's counting like we're going to essentially use credits. If you want to do any action in there, including deleting your stuff, we're going to charge you for it.
But doesn't that save them on storage?
Yeah. And hence why it has caused such a stir around town. It does blow my mind too. So anyway, price hikes, I think people expect it every year with certain things. That's why that's why you have annual contracts, inflation, la da da. Much like anything else, it's how you do them and based on what, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the feedback, just like the LinkedIn, like I thought the first one we were talking about with Kit, I thought the Beehiiv CEO response was great. The response from Kit, not that good. Where was the CEO there?
They handled the issue, but it wasn't the type of handling that would have taken care of it for everybody. It was more like the squeaky wheel got the grease. He made a stink about it. They knew it was going to be a PR nightmare. They handled it for him. How many other creators have maybe submitted stuff in there and like have gotten no response or anything? Because
you can't win that though. Not everyone's gonna get a response, and you can't look up everyone and be like, oh, this guy's a creator, I'm gonna respond to them only.
Right. Exactly.
It's tough. It's real tough. Funny enough, I was looking at some business expenses for 2025, looking at like the increases. None were 3x, luckily. There, a number of them had some increases as expected. I think my problem though is just I should probably get rid of some of these. I don't even need them.
Yes.
It's a bigger problem.
Yeah, you like to buy tools. I've
learned
this.
That's not true. I like to try. I like to try them out.
You like to try them out.
Yeah.
If you're a PLG product with a free trial, hit him up.
All right. That's not
you even have a retaliation for that
nothing
one.
there.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Let's noodle.
So now we all love hustle culture on LinkedIn. And we got a bam, bam, bam. I got 3 of them. One of them looks fake though, but
they're always fake, aren't they?
They're always fake.
No one works.
No one works.
Who's got jobs these days?
Okay, so there's 3 different stories here. One, this dude who says that he basically hired an underage person. I like
their kid?
No, it doesn't sound like it because the person who posted it, the founder, looks like a kid himself. So I don't know if that's it. But he uses this story to say, okay, Wilmo.ai, whatever that is, has hired our 3rd team member. Lassie is 17 years old, a killer salesperson and content creator, and he does 3 things extremely well. Cold calling. When he does 20 calls, he books 1 meeting. We tested it with a trial yesterday. LinkedIn content, authentic content, whatever, running. This summer, he fell on a bike, was hospitalized and got some serious head injuries. And 3 days later, he ran the Copenhagen Marathon. I can't wait to see, him close more customers. And then he posted this picture of him with freaking head injury and bandages and stuff like that. No, I think that's his medal for running. This like money in his mouth. A picture of him with some bandages and stuff like that. Anyway, it got 200 plus reactions. I was looking at the comments. I'm like, is anyone going to say anything about this? No. But this did end up on LinkedIn Lunatics on Reddit. Now, Reddit will shred. That is one thing you can say about Reddit, right? So people are like, yay for running a marathon with a concussion. And then it goes, if I had brain damage, I might also become an AI salesperson.
So true. So funny, actually.
This may sound like a silly question, but what are all these people actually selling? What is the product? Someone says AI customer support. And then someone else says he's probably the oldest person at the company too. But it was so funny because the caption for the Reddit post says, "Let's celebrate an underage kid already ignoring his health and needs for hustle culture. I don't want to live on this planet anymore." So that is our first hustle culture update. We also have another one. This was also on LinkedIn Lunatics. I always verify that it actually is a thing that someone didn't just conjure up for Reddit. But Cameron Zub, co-founder at WAP. WAP. 9:15 p.m. Monday night, not a single engineer has left yet. The only thing to do in life is build. And he has a picture of everybody sitting in the office. Obviously, we can't verify the time, but they look like they're all working and it looks kind of darker. And so that's another promo of hustle culture. And then people said in the comments, I visited this guy's LinkedIn out of curiosity, and his main experience boils down to using a bot to cheat a Domino's free pizza giveaway and using a bot to buy up sneakers. That tracks. Someone else said, what the fuck are bros even doing on their monitors? Because they just have what looks like just code bases up, but we don't know, that means nothing. And then working overtime is a sign of failure. Then someone else said, oh, they start work at 1 p.m. Could be that. We're hiring. Yeah, I bet. The comments on his post are surprisingly roasting him, refreshing to see. They really just love that view, etc., on and on. Reddit will shred. So that is our second hustle culture update. This one,
what's funny? Wait, before you go, you know what's funny about that one is because I remember seeing that on Reddit, and I went to the post and I examined the picture thoroughly because I'm so skeptical these days. Like I feel like everyone's just kind of like either trolling or just like putting up a picture that's, they say it's 9:15 p.m. but it's not. I looked at every single computer for the time. I looked in the reflection of the windows looking for like, because I thought I saw Big Ben in the background clock, and I was looking for a time so I can call it out because I'm so skeptical. I couldn't find anything. They purposely made everything blurry, which pissed me off. Not purposely. I'm sure it's just a bad image, but I couldn't find anything. But it looked like it was not real, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's because a lot of them do that, right? They're posturing for like customers, like, oh, we're going to work our asses off for you, or founder mode or whatever. And then, we have this one that is very obviously staged, and everyone called it out too. This guy's like, oh, my CFO is working in the hospital. He's in the hospital and working on our finances. He texted me, come now, we need to lock in. He's been there for 10 days. And you can see this picture of these three guys in a hospital. One of them's a hospital bed. They're just like, got laptops open, whatever. But this guy, first of all, they look like they're laughing, right? So it's almost like they can't even keep a straight face. Second, people are like, I've never seen someone just wear a hoodie and jump, and be in a hospital bed. And
that was fake, for sure.
Yeah, so they're like here for some other reason. Maybe his sister gave birth to a baby or something. I don't know. But they're like, oh, content opportunity, and jumped into the bed. I'm going to ask you a question right now.
Okay.
If either you or I were at a hospital for some other reason, non-serious, right? We were just there. Maybe we went to like see a friend or what. I don't know. I don't know why we would be in a hospital. Would we also take the opportunity to lay in a fucking hospital bed and take a picture and make a post?
Take a picture? No. Have I brought my laptop to a hospital? 100%.
Yeah. Like when you were waiting for Asher to be born?
Actually, yes. Exactly. Wife was sleeping. Nothing was happening. I still had to work. Like I just took my laptop and did something. Did I take a tripod out, take my phone, pull it in the corner, scurry on back to the other corner, plop with my phone, wait for the picture to be taken, all weird like, put my laptop down, grab the phone, and make sure no one else saw me? Absolutely not. You know how awkward that is? Especially they had 3 people. They had to stage. Think about that. Someone was like, let's take a picture of this. Goes to wherever in the corner, finds a good spot, has to figure out how to like do the 10-second thing with the photo or take a video. And then they all scurried like, you guys ready? You guys ready? You guys ready? Get your laptops ready. Pause. And then you go back and get it. And like hope the nurse doesn't see it.
Terrible.
That's what's happening.
Terrible.
It's hilarious.
They probably got kicked out right after that.
Yeah. Who's wearing a sweatshirt? And like you said, like who's wearing a sweatshirt in the bed like that?
Yeah.
You don't. You wear a gown. Actually, the gown would have made it look better. So I don't know what they were doing. I think they snuck into a hospital to do that.
Yeah, I think they were there for some alternate reason, and they found an empty room, or the person went in the bathroom and they're like, I'm just going to jump in this bed with my dirty clothes and went in there.
Someone's got to clean that up, like that's mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of crazy things, saw this post. Actually, do you remember? I don't know if you were even around at this time.
What do you mean was I around?
This is like 2.5 years ago. Do you remember the crying CEO that had like laid people off and like they went viral, like real viral, almost like astronomer CEO viral?
Yes.
I haven't seen that guy in a while, but I thought there was a comeback coming. I thought there was someone else coming back for it.
Oh.
So this person, they could be a great person. I don't know. I'm not even going to call them out because of this. But they basically put a post out that said, this is how life is actually lived. And it has two kind of scenarios because the image is a split screen of one of the guy smiling and one of the guy crying, tears in his eyes.
Okay.
And he basically says the left, which is the smiling, is me in a wonderful headspace, fresh off a run on a family vacay. Awesome. The right, crying, is him in the middle of a panic attack before a business function. And he basically says, most don't share this side. I do it to help break the stigma. You're not alone, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
On one side, fair. You're not wrong. This is people, right? People do have breakdowns. I've cried. I've had breakdowns. Like things happen. But you know what normal people don't do is when they start crying, they pull out their phone. They plop it in front of them, look directly into it, take a picture, put it back. And people that cry and take photos and videos of themselves doing it are not really in a panic attack or sad or anything like that. There is just no normal person does that. No, they don't.
Yeah, I agree. That is the last thing. I don't want anyone to see me when I'm doing that. I don't want to show that I'm doing that. Also, it immediately negates anything that you're feeling or doing if you're
100%.
only using it as a prop for sympathy or whatever online. What are the comments? I want to see the comments. Were there anything crazy or people were like, it's LinkedIn. So they were probably like, we support you, bro. We love you.
I wanted to skip it because it's
Seriously?
mostly, there was a couple that called him out. Like this guy, he does like ABM with LinkedIn ads. You
commented on it?
I had to. He said, just so I understand, you were having a full-blown panic attack and decided to take your phone out and take a selfie. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. You know?
Wait, what did he respond to that? What did he say to that?
This is where I kind of feel bad because like I get it, but like I also don't get it. He did respond. He said,
okay.
So I'll give him that. He said, Tim Davidson, thanks for your question. When I first started sharing my journey with mental health, it was just open and honest words, telling my story. And then years back, I wanted to lean into something more challenging to paint the picture for folks. Saying it was one thing, seeing it as another, which is where I got the idea of taking a pic in the middle of a mental health breakdown. It took me years to get up the nerve and resilience to take a selfie during one. And then when I finally took it, it took another handful of years to get the nerve to share it. When you open up like I do, skeptical folks are all part of the journey, but I hope this helps provide context. Fair, okay. But no.
You're not the only one who said it though, because this Nirmal Pant said, when someone is having a panic attack, how in the world would that person be in the mindset of taking a selfie? Did he just copy and paste the response to that one?
Let's see.
Clearly AI
someone
generated.
Said, yeah.
Yep, copying my reply to Tim as it covers the same topic. And look, people back down. Absolutely, totally kidding. I appreciate the open. What? No.
I don't know. I just don't. So to be fair, I guess if you have enough panic attacks, you are numb and would be able to do it. I don't know. I could be. Sometimes I feel like I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just don't.
No.
Feel like
Okay. Listen.
There's just no way.
Listen.
Maybe the internet.
I appreciate his response. I appreciate his response, but I'm going to say this as a person who's a huge advocate for mental health. I go to therapy myself. My husband goes to therapy. We are huge believers in that. I'm also a believer in medication if you need it. Whatever you need to do to feel better, right? I'm a huge advocate. I actually think everybody should go to therapy. I think mental health is a huge problem. Here's my thing. This is not being an advocate for that. This is manipulating and using mental health to aura farm.
Ooh,
to get clout.
Aura farm.
Yeah. Wow. You are milking the internet for sympathy and clout and all of this stuff. And so in reality, while you're using it as, oh, I'm just trying to be open and honest about yada, 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 what you're actually doing is making a mockery of what is a real issue. So no, I don't buy it. I don't think so. Also, it doesn't look really like the same person. He looks like he has a nose job in the second one because his nose doesn't look the same. But that's besides the point.
Do you think it'd be worse? Because someone did call it out. Is it AI generated? Because I can 100% go into Gemini right now and make a picture of me smiling into me crying. Do you think? Do you think? Well, actually, the question is, do you think it's worse if it was AI generated?
Yes, then it truly is just a mockery.
He didn't say that,
mental
so
health
he didn't say it
issues.
was AI.
He didn't. And you know what? Whether it is or not,
True.
the whole point is he posted it. He did it to gain a lot of sympathy. That's where I think people take advantage of the niceness that does happen on LinkedIn, where everybody is generally very supportive and, all of those things. But it's also like it's okay to not share some of those things or share it with a personal network or something like that if it's truly something that you're doing. But I've never once sent a crying face to anybody. And I've had plenty of moments like that in my life, but it's just like something to prove. So yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you're crying, you have a mental breakdown, whatever it is. And in normal life, you tell your spouse, you tell your friends, you say, I just had a really bad moment. But instead, you also like send a picture of yourself crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no one does that. I've never seen that. That will never happen. Or it's like, hey, look, I was crying. You show a picture of crying.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not something to be ashamed about. Now, if he'd written a post and he's like, hey, I had this panic attack, I was in tears, like whatever. If he just had the copy in there too, but the picture is what makes everything else feel fake.
I think it downgrades it.
Yeah, totally. So it had the opposite effect of what I think he wanted it to have, and he doesn't realize that. But this is just like, to me, it's very attention mongering,
It might have worked because it's on LinkedIn. Post that everywhere else. You get torn.
Oh, if he posted on Reddit, they'd give him something to cry about.
Take a picture of that. It's how you create a viral loop right there.
All right. See you next week? Yeah, see you next week.
Next week.
Okay.
All right, let's be honest. You probably didn't go to school for B2B marketing. I didn't. And that's exactly why we built Exit 5. It's now the top community for B2B marketers. You can learn more about our community and our in-person events over there at exit5.com, or at least join the newsletter. I read every message, and I promise that if you reply, I will reply back. See you over at exit5.com.
Hey, big shout out to Vector for sponsoring and for giving marketers one less thing to swear about, because nothing spikes your blood pressure like targeting that doesn't target. Am I right? Build audiences by name at vector.co. Your swear jar will thank you. I promise. Go check them out. Vector.co. And that's a wrap on Notorious B2B, where we expose the nonsense and remind you that most B2B marketing is just a very expensive guessing game.
Don't, and post a passive-aggressive LinkedIn poll about it. We'll still find you.
And if you have B2B drama we should cover, slide into our DMs. We accept screenshots, leaked internal memos, and questionable brand rebrands.
Until next time, keep your marketing unhinged and your LinkedIn bio free of the words growth hacker. See you later.
Later, skater.